Yeah.
Last one is recent fan writing for the pros of the Flex. I think it might be your turn, actually.
Okay.
I can't remember, but yeah.
Hi, Ben and Nathan. I only started listening to your podcast / subscribing to the Demon about a month ago, and I can only say I wish I had known about your program sooner. I took the LSAT for the first time yesterday and completed my writing sample today. I was nervous after hearing all the horror stories on the show, but I actually had a pleasant experience. I was logged on to ProctorU. My proctor was hands off and only talked to me on sign in and sign out, and that was it. Very simple. I'm in the Army, stationed in Italy, and I did not think I would be going to law school when COVID hit. I spent several months under extremely strict lockdown measures, and I did not go anywhere besides my apartment, my work, and the grocery store from March through May. My grand plans of traveling to the States for summer break and taking the LSAT there quickly evaporated. I did not even get to go home for my own grandmother's funeral, so I knew I wouldn't be allowed to travel just for the LSAT. Well, the commander-in-chief is doing all sorts of things. So the actual armed forces are not going to their grandmother's funeral while Trump is like having parties for himself. So yes, very sorry. The only overseas option left this year was the October test. I signed up to take it in Rome, but was still nervous as Rome is several hours and states away. At the time, even after we were allowed to leave our town of residence, we were still restricted to the state we lived in. The announcement of Flex was actually a huge relief to me. The only place I knew I could take the test was my own home, with how rapidly lockdown measures continue to change. Also, because of Flex, I'm also signed up for the November test. I would not have had that second option otherwise, since October was originally the only overseas option for the rest of the year. Anyway, I just wanted to share some positive views of the new format. I still have strong feelings against LSAC, from their delayed score releases to their steep / mandatory prices that add up quickly. But as for the Flex itself, I am a fan. Thanks for everything you do, and praise the Demon. That's L writing in. Very nice, L. Thank you.
Yeah, a little good news from the field.
There's all kinds of good shit that has happened as a result of COVID. Like, I hope people can at least, in the dumpster fire that is 2020, I hope people can at least acknowledge that there were a lot of good things that came of people being forced into doing online shit. Yeah, they've had tons of problems with ProctorU. Don't get me wrong. I mean, every single test we do hear from people. Like, what did I get one recently? I was trying to remember who it was. One of the current Demon students, the proctor, 20 minutes into a section, just started talking to them. Like, hey, I can't. Like, hey, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And it was like, what? Can't hear me? I'm not saying anything. I'm not. Shit like
not
that.
Supposed to talk.
They are attempting to iron out the kinks. And I would say the majority, even the vast majority of students, have no problems. But there still are lots of problems. But that said, it's better than not having it at all. I mean, this person was going to take it while they were back in the States, an entire continent away to come visit, but also have one shot at taking the LSAT.
Now they can take it twice.
And now they can do it from home. I mean, it's immensely better.
No, I have to agree with you 100%. I mean, the thing, it is a shit show, but at the same time, it's shit shows that make us move forward, right? I was thinking about this. Apparently, Peter Thiel, one of the founders, I think, of PayPal, likes to ask, why can't you do your 10-year goal in 6 months? And, sometimes it's not possible, but the point is to get you thinking, what assumptions, just like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, I can't leave DC, are holding you back because you don't even shine the light of day on them for a half second. you just accept them as reality and it's over, right? And I was thinking about that with this vaccine. I was just reading, my son was writing some article for his science class, and it's like most vaccines take like 10 years or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is, but he's like, we're even though it seems slow, we're trying to basically accomplish this in like a year or two, which is extraordinary. We can do shit when we try to ask ourselves over and over, what can I do now, as opposed to just going with the flow.
Necessity is the mother of invention, like
Mm-hmm.
just think about anything you do on the regular basis now has been
Yeah.
improved. Like you can do much more stuff on your phone. You can do much more stuff on websites. They have contactless everything. When I go play golf now, it's all of a sudden every golf course allows you to make tee times online, pay online. You don't even, in some cases, have to go into the pro shop. You just like show up and go to the first tee, There's
Yeah.
a guy there who has an iPad and he has your name. Oh, welcome. And you just like go, and there's
Yeah.
like all shit that it was just obviously better, but nobody was forced into doing it. And so Flex is clearly one of these things.
Yeah.
Um, I speculate that a lot of school is going to a lot of higher education, maybe not kindergarten, maybe not even fifth grade.
Yeah.
But I feel like I see my niece doing her school stuff. She seems to be killing it. She's only online for like an hour and a half a day. She's a seventh grader, but she's totally killing it. She like is doing great.
Yeah.
Without the like big grab ass of having to go to school every day and waste 6 hours just getting that, like you're constantly getting into the class or leaving the class and coming back into the class and leaving the class again, and like
Or getting sick, right? Like one kid
right.
gets a cold and then everybody else gets a cold. My kid, did I tell you this? My third kid's in a pod, and there's 7 kids, and one kid went down, and so all the parents email, oh, my kid's sick, and then everyone got it, and then I got it, and I was like,
Ugh.
shit, like I haven't been sick for months because there's no interaction with anything, and I was like, this sucks to be sick, but thankfully I knew exactly what was going to happen because everyone had the same symptoms. It was
Yeah.
like stuffy nose, tired, and then like day 3 you're like getting better, day 4
Did
it's
they
gone.
get, or did you get a COVID test? Was it like,
Yeah, well, that's the other thing
so
is some of them did, and so when they did and they got a strep test too, and it's like all came back negative, I'm like, well, I don't have that, so I'm good.
yeah, I mean, it does seem that like our health has improved in a lot of ways because of this whole
Yeah.
thing. Maybe not our mental health, but our physical health. Although,
Yeah.
no, I mean, mental health too. For some students, it's a much better environment for them to be able to be in their own space.
Sure. Yeah.
Think about like accommodating people. For anybody with differences or disabilities or whatever, like I shouldn't say disabilities, I guess, but differences.
Yeah.
It's much more comfortable for them to not have to. My classroom in San Francisco, you never saw it, huh? The chancellor with the crazy mural of the San Francisco Bay on the wall.
Oh, I've seen a Yelp picture
My
for it.
home away
Yeah.
from home. Oh yeah, the one that Kaplan posted on their
Yep.
site. Kaplan was posting me on all their Yelp everywhere.
Yep.
Okay. I wonder if that's still up. That was like a couple of years ago,
Oh, you
huh?
didn't engage in a lengthy
Anyway,
litigation?
yeah, right. That room it had an elevator, but it was an old like European style hotel with the
Mm.
kind of spirals almost staircase up to the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
second
Interesting.
floor, and almost everybody would take that instead of waiting for the elevator, and it was like a
Yeah.
pretty small room. And yeah, I mean, for anybody with any kind of differences at all, including anxiety and that sort of thing, and now they can
Hmm.
just be at home talking to me face to face on Zoom.
Hmm.
And if they don't want to see anybody else, they don't have to see anybody else besides me. If they don't want to
Yeah.
show their face, they can turn off their camera.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been thinking about this a lot because I've loved so much teaching on Zoom. that I just don't think, if the miracle cure came tomorrow, I don't think I'm getting back on the Southwest shuttle flights back and forth to restart my classes
No,
in the city. Why would I have a worldwide class on Zoom that's more effective than the live class ever was?
100%.
Yeah. And we think that this is also why people are scoring better on the flex. We talked about this at the top of the show with Anne, but it's multiple different factors, right? Why people are scoring so well on the flex.
Yeah.
One, our students are killing it. And we hear from our students. So we hear an awful lot of people writing back saying, hey, I got a 175. Or didn't we hear multiple 180s on the most recent test?
Yeah. Which like blew my mind. I mean, we've seen them before, but like together, all in one.
I think the demon, we're blowing our own horn, but I think the demon is totally killing it. Like, people just don't really say bad things about it. People, they love it. They improve fast. They have fun. That's one big factor. 2, taking the test from home.
Yep.
Being in your own environment. 3 sections instead of 5. 35-minute times 3 instead of 35 minutes times 5, plus a break in the middle of it.
Plus the writing sample has now been detached.
Writing sample has been detached, which makes the day even shorter. Although the writing sample was already after the scored sections, so probably doesn't really affect the scores. The fact that you don't have to commute to the testing center, that by itself causes lots of stress.
Yeah, remember we told people to get there a little bit early so you can know where you're going and all that
also,
stupid stuff.
The whole you can't bring your phone. Remember that?
Yeah. How do I get home? How do I do it?